be sure and say hello when you join me tonight. You get just me for a little while. Robert might make it. He might not make it. He's doing the Lord's work, I tell you. So, IT work. Sometimes it's pretty tough. So, fun show for you tonight. We are doing the center block for our solstice remake. So be sure and say hello when you jump on. Hi, Kathy Leader. How are you? I have been sewing all day long. I am behind on some of my homework. I've got 2 quilts that I absolutely have to get done like right away. One of them before Thursday, which I am like right there to be done with it. So we're having pizza for dinner and I'm just going to muscle through it and get it done. Today's Tuesday. I don't think I will be able to have it quilted, maybe. So, hi Stephanie. Hi Peggy. Welcome. Robert's a little bit late. Hi Patsy. Hi Lana. Beverly, welcome. So, pizza for dinner and sewing. It's like the perfect date evening with my sewing machine. Hi Vicky, hi Miranda. Hi Beverly. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Fun block tonight. I think this is probably the most complicated block that we have, and you only make one, so we're gonna muscle through this together. So, oh, what kind of pizza do you like, Lana? My favorite is just cheese pizza. So we're gonna muscle through this one together and figure out the best way to put it together. I'm looking at it, I'm seeing some ways, so we shall see. And we're using the wedge shape tonight. We don't often use this in our quilts. It's raining in California. I think there's a song that says it never rains. But I was stationed there eons ago and in the desert, in the high desert, in Barstow, and it would occasionally rain. And when it did, it would pour. Sausage and pepperoni pizza. Hi, Cindy. That sounds good. I think we're just going to have like, well, there's a few of us here, so there'll be all kinds of pizza. So, let's do our sound check while we're here, and I'll be taking the laptop with me so that I can see your comments. I am trying a new camera setup over there at the sewing machine, so let me know what you guys think of it when we get started. So let's get our sound check going, and we will do our who we are here in just a second. Well, we can go ahead and do it now. So we are Quilters HQ, Windmill Sewing Center, Quilt Sampler, and Joan Sews. The websites are quiltershq.com, windmillsewingcenter.com, quiltsampler.com, and joansews.com. We do this every Tuesday from 6 to 6:30-ish. Tonight we'll probably go a little bit longer. And we always have a giveaway. We have a thread of a month. And so thank you for letting me know. Everything is good. Supreme Deluxe Pizza. No kidding. When I was young, it was Pizza Hut was the place to go. No, not making any plugs, but that was the place to go when I was young. So, everything good on YouTube. So let's just head on over. I am going to switch cameras and meet you there. On my way, hang on. Facebook is good. Thank you, Cindy. Okay, let me just get this settled here. I'm going to slide this right in over here. I'm going to turn this light off because it gets kind of bright. Used to be beautiful in California, but traveling across the USA this summer, California is last in beauty. You know, they've had some terrible fires, and I know that has been very impacting for them, so our hearts go out to them. Sometimes it's rough everywhere. So we are doing this block right here, and you can see it's kind of, there's a lot going on here in this block. Let me back it up just a little bit so it's not quite as, there we go. There's a lot going on in this block. So, I'm going to keep this handy, and I have my notes pretty close. If you guys want to weigh in and make comments, then I'm happy to answer. So we've got a lot of quarter square triangles. So why don't we start with the things that I know we're going to have to piece together. And so these are my flying geese. And that is these wedge shapes and our half square triangles. So let's just go ahead and move this over here and set it right there. These are going to go, oh, and guess what I found? The precious. I found the precious. Hi, Janice. Welcome back. So, like all of the other blocks, I'm just going to piece together all of the stuff that I need to make squares. We're not, it looks like it's an on-point block. It's not. It's actually squares. So what do you guys think of this setup? Is it a little bit easier to see what I'm sewing on and what I'm doing? Let me know your thoughts. So, because the other thing we're talking about doing is getting a camera that flips. It's like it's on the machine. It connects to the machine. The only concern is the vibration. We have 8 of these. Seems like a lot of these. Hello, Rose. Welcome. Welcome, Nancy. With these, I am going to press the seam open. I'm going to use my doohickey because I'm back in action with that. I'm so happy. It was actually on the floor underneath something. So, glad to have it back because, man, all day it makes this easier to just do that. Because then we're ready to sew our next pieces. So, we do sell these. They're like $8, I think, something like that. I recommend having multiples because it's painful when you lose them. I should say I miss it when it's gone. Just pressing the seam. I am pressing it open. There is going to be a little bit of bulk on this corner. Some of them I think I am going to press in one direction. This one is open. Oh, thank you. The little thread cutters for sale. I don't know that we have this one, but we have some similar. There's actually a really cool one that uses your old rotary cutter blades. Carol, I'll send you an email about it tomorrow with a link to it. But we have something similar for sure. But I don't know if we have this one. This one's old, like really old. So I've had it several years. But I think the used rotary cutting blade one is pretty cool. Okay, so we've got a couple of flying geese to make. So we've got one here, white one with the yellow or green, and then a green with white. So let's go ahead and make those. So Linda, you recommend the ones with the old blade? They're kind of cute. You can't cut yourself with them, so it's a pretty good deal, I think. So the white ones first, we're going to sew these. I like getting the use out of the old blade. Like it makes me feel good about, like I'm recycling, because we have so much waste in quilting. So, although we are pretty frugal with our scraps, sometimes, needles and things like that, those don't get recycled. I don't know a place that does recycling for them. Okay. Certain size blade, I use a 28. It's the 45 millimeter rotary cutter that they use. So if you don't have that, we have lots and lots. We cut lots and lots of fabric. Hi, Kitty. And so if you don't have one, Carol, I am happy to open up the package and put a used blade in before we ship it. So they're cute. They have several colors. I don't know what we have in the store as far as colorway go. I think they're pink. There might be blue ones or green ones. So, and I don't know who the manufacturer is right off the top of my head, but I know we do have those in the store. I saw those just the other day. But yes, having one of these is super handy. When this one gets to the point where it won't cut, because there's no replacing the blade in it. It's once it's gone, end of life. And with these, I'm just going to press towards this outside. So I think the other ones are a little bit better because you can put a new old used blade in them. If that, wow, that's a sentence, a mouthful. A new old used blade. Yep, and Linda's probably correct. I'm certain that you have some friends that will happily give you a used blade and possibly ask you where you got it. So let's do our other half of these. Let's just flip that and finish our flying geese. Nobody weighed in on the camera position here, so what's your thoughts? Oops. How about we sew the right piece to the right piece? Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Kathy. And let's do just the opposite ones. You know, I believe this is going to be one of those blocks that would make a great quilt if you just made the block. And repeated it. I'm kind of on that kick right now where I'm repeating the same blocks. This is not that one of those, but I'm working on other things that are. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for letting me know. Appreciate it. Best tool ever. I missed it. I'm sitting here going, man, I am so glad I have this back. Okay, so there's our flying geese out of the way. We have, I think this is like a tulip. So we have to piece all of these. So that's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8 of those. And I think I have some extras. So I'm going to count out my 8. There's 6 and 8. I might have cut too many pieces once. So I do have a collection of half square triangles that finishes to 2 inches. So it's one of the things that when I have extra fabric that I just, you know, if I'm cutting out half square triangles with AccuQuilt, I'll just go and I have like a little bit left. I'll just go ahead and cut them out. Because we always get to use these all over the place. And besides, it's just a half square triangle quilt. Is a pretty cute quilt. The thingamajig has a way of scrying. You are not kidding. You know, we found it right after the show. Robert was actually running around in here searching for it in the sewing room. And there's a lot of flat surfaces and floor space, and it had fallen down and kind of got wedged under some drawers. And it happened to be the same color as the drawers, so it was kind of blendy. I'm agreeing with you. I think notions do just sprout feet and slip away. This pink is so cute with the cherries on it. I love this fabric. Bright. Okay. I'm going to press these open. And then we're going to start building our sections. We might have one more flying geese to make. We do. I told you this one was going to last a little longer because this, oh, thank you, gunmetal. I don't know if you can, and it's kind of chipped. It's kind of a complicated block. It's not a difficult block. It's just, there's a lot of pieces. Sometimes these just don't want to come apart. Okay, turn it around so I don't mess it up. And these are more flying geese. They go right here. It looks like you would just put it together like this, but it's not. So, and I might be short some pieces, like that one right there. I'll have to see. They might be here somewhere. But let's just make these. Wrong ones? No, right ones? Yes. So Linda had a question. Since you press open, do you ever have trouble quilting it that the seams may open, layer on, or when wash a lot? So that's a really good and valid question. I don't always press my seams open. AccuQuilt, as a rule, they say press your seams open. I don't always. So like with these flying geese, I'm pressing towards the outside. The reason we prefer not to press our seams open is because the batting in an open seam, they can separate, right? So if I do that up close, you can kind of see how it's pulling apart. And so batting can wick through those seams. One way to offset that is to set your stitch length to 1.8 millimeter. Some of our sewing machines do it for us. So like if you have a Janome memory craft machine, like the M8 or the M17 or any of the Continentals, the 9450, the 9480, those machines actually set your stitch length to 1.8 millimeters for you. And so that keeps the seams from coming apart so much, separating, because it's a pretty tight little seam there at 1.8 millimeters. The stitch is pretty small. If you don't have a 1.8 like Viking, my Husqvarna Viking 95Q goes to 2 millimeter. So there's no 1.8. So I sew with 2 millimeters. No problems quilting. The reason that we press the seams open in some places is because we're trying to reduce bulk when we go to quilting and pressing those seams, because some of them can get pretty bulky pretty quick, especially, you know, when you have a lot of seams intersecting at one point. That's when we have to dig out our clapper and actually pound on those seams a little bit. But so no problem with pressing the seams open as a general rule. I only do it when I know that there's going to be a lot of bulk, and sometimes when you're quilting it can cause skip stitches going through all of that extra layers. And that can be painful for your quilter, so your quilter will appreciate it when you're thinking about how many layers they're having to quilt through, because you have the backing, the batting, and, you know, so there's 3 layers right there. When I piece it here, it's going to be 4 layers. So it can get pretty bulky, and those needles that they use are pretty big. So I'm going to start this out. I'm going to sew all of these flying geese together. And then we're going to piece this right here. I might have to find some of these triangles, but we'll worry about that in a minute. So, and they go red, white, and then green. So this is the order for the geese. I like to piece with my seam showing, so I can sew right through that. Hi Sharon, welcome. You're never late. You can always watch the replay. This is out here. It's the internet, so it's here forever. And since this is a larger piece of the block, I'm actually locking my seams. And there's the one I'm missing. Just a little forward and back stitch. So the pattern is a free download, and it is on quiltershq.com. And at the top, there's a place that says Joan Sews Patterns, and you can go there and download for free. And if you have an AccuQuilt, there are AccuQuilt instructions, but I'm seriously questioning the person that made them now because I feel like I'm missing some of these shapes right here. So I don't know who that would be, but so like these, I'm going to press towards the top here. Just like that. I'm kidding. I'm the person that created the cutting instructions for the AccuQuilt. So you may have like a couple of extra pieces of one and a couple too few of another. I try to do a good job, but sometimes I do make mistakes. Okay, and then, yes, just like that. Again, I'm going to flip it over and sew so that I can sew through that little intersection right there. Willow says hi. Well, hello.
Hi.
Okay, and again, gonna just press that towards the top. I love flying geese, especially when they create these secondary patterns. And they're so easy. There's so many ways to make them too. But AccuQuilt is obviously my favorite because I just like having all the stuff cut out. Okay, so that's the center section. We're going to set this aside, and we are going to, we have pink squares, and let's lay this out a little bit. These are going to go like this. 4 of those, and then like this to make that tulip. Kind of hard to see because I have a white background, and so you can just see in a second. So let's piece these together. Hi, April. Welcome. We're going a little extra long tonight because it's kind of a complicated block. I do have a sort of show and tell for you. And of course we have a giveaway, color of the month. You guys are going to seriously start appreciating the color of the month and the club, the Aerofill Club because did I lose one? I just found out that we are seeing a significant increase in aerofill thread. So that 20% off if you're in the thread club is gonna be worth it. Get ready to sew two together. Actually, I don't know. I need to lock these in place. Hi, Dawn. How are you? Okay, so I'm going to press towards the solid block. And same thing, press towards the solid block, and then we're going to nest these seams. And that is how our block is going to go together. Trying to turn this just a little bit. There we go. Just lining up those seams. Let's put this part together. Again, just lock stitching these because these are bigger pieces of my block and I don't want these seams to come apart. Made my first ever in the hoop project yesterday. How awesome is that? What did you make, Stephanie? Okay. There's our little tulip bottom. Okay, so there's that section. So we have, what are we missing? We are missing, because this gets put together, and then there is hang on, let me grab my little basket because they might be in the basket. I have squares, but not half square triangles. Hang on. One more place to see. Nope, nope, nope. I have squares, but not half square triangles. Too many of these, not enough of these. And we need, so I'm going to cheat here and do this because I have my 4 because I only need 4. And so what we're going to do is this. Like it never happened. And I actually need 3 more, so let's line these up. These don't have to be perfect, they're just half square triangles. And use a bigger pair of scissors. Lacey and Penny said hi. Willow is very appreciative of that, but she always barks at other dogs. I think she just gets excited. She likes to go to the dog park and play with the other dogs. She just gets excited and she sees dogs on the trail behind the house. She likes to say hello in her biggest outside voice. That's yours. Robert's in here snooping around. And he just found my stash of sunflower seeds. And he's helping himself. While we wait for the pizza. It's kind of rainy here. It's kind of gloomy and it's getting dark earlier. So it's a good night to have pizza and sewing. Pumpkin mug rug. Awesome. Well, congratulations. It's so much. I'm going to press this open. If I can get it open. There we go. Yay. And since we're running so far over, do you guys want to see it through to the end? Or do you want to see just this one section finished and then... And it goes like that. So that's how those are going to go together. Then the, we're almost done. Thought you heard a moose? No doubt. She's a hefty dog. She's a big girl. She's got big voice. And she's, like most dogs, pretty territorial. She doesn't like the people that come mow. One section is fine. Good as long as you want. I'm here till the end. Well, let's just go and do this one little section. Because I know people have things to do. And we have a giveaway to get to. And the color of the month. So let's just do this one. Again, we are lock stitching these pieces. And And always use your little scissors. Don't use your big scissors when you're cutting stuff like this, because you'll cut your block. Ask me how I know. This goes like this. So this is going to attach right here. And then next week we are doing assembly. So we'll get this, piece this together like this, and you'll get to see this block finished. It is going to be a beautiful block. All those seams. So pretty. And then our flying geese unit is going to go right there. Right there. And right there. This is going to be a really pretty block. And that is 1/4 of it. I am Linda, sewing with a Juki. This is the Juki J150. It is a true industrial machine. Has big throat, also does quilting. But we're going to head over to the other side. We're going to talk about do our giveaway, and hang on, I'm going to meet you over there. It's going to be a pretty block. Wait, all right, there. Big bag. Thread color of the month. Aerofill thread has a price increase. Our price on Aerofill thread is going to be $19.99. So, $20 a spool. Today it's not, but soon it will be. So, color of the month is pewter. It is 2630. This is an awesome color. It's not quite black, so great for our Halloween projects right now if you're quilting. So be sure and check that out. If you want one, comment, make it mine. I talked about the club earlier. Hon, will you grab my water? Just 1 second. Oh, water break. So I talked about the club earlier. It's $20 to join. You get the box, and then all of your thread purchases, not just the color of the month, is 20% off. It's going to be worth it. That's going to be $4 a spool. So, yeah, it does. Pewter. Did not plan that. Matches my nails was the comment. You have the 880 plus. I want to see it. And yeah, it'll be pretty. I'll post a picture of it in the Facebook. Winner. Do you want to do the winner, honey? So while he's going through that was our last block. I'm gonna hold up all the other blocks because they're all so very pretty. This is gonna be a beautiful quilt. We do still have a couple of kits left for this. As soon as we hang this up in the store, they'll be gone. I love this one too. This is the other one that I really like. And it's very similar to the one that we're doing right now. So, in our giveaway, we have a Kimberbell bag. And I have one of these. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is a box cutter. It has a little tiny, it's just enough to get through the tape on the box. Hopewell by Joan Morton. Charm pack. And a project bag. I think these are compliments of Janome, actually. Okay.
Gwyna Waller. GWYNNAWALLER. Where else? Show and tell. Did you have show and tell?
Yes.
I want to see your show and tell.
It is. I'll bring it over there and hold that. This is going to be our next AccuQuilt Club project. So this is one corner of it. And then there's another row. I'm going to grab the pattern and show you. This is my last row that holds it all together, but this is the quilt. So this is going to be our next AccuQuilt Club pattern. And it has really, it's really...
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It really is.
Turning out pretty cool.
And the colors are really cool.
Yeah, the way it's variegated. Trying to get it so you can see it. So, that's my show and tell. That's what I spent my day working on, and I'm almost done with the top. I don't know if I'll have enough time to get it quilted. I might see how much time I have left tonight, because I've got about maybe 30 more minutes of sewing on this. Attach the border. I might have time to quilt it if I can find a backing. I bet I can.
They're excited. I mean, it's really cool. I think you guys are going to love this one. The way the colors come out is really, really cool.
So this one is about 60 by 60. I am working on a full-size bed pattern, which would be 79, I think. Something like that. So working on another one. So stay tuned for that as well. And if you are tonight's winner, please go to Facebook, or you can send us an email and direct message us with your shipping information. If you're local, we'll leave it up front for you to pick up, but congratulations. And as always, remember to check your thread path, change your needle, and oil your hook before you bring your machine in for a spa day. Thanks for joining us tonight. We will see you next week.